They tell you that life is about finding happiness, about seeking stability, about creating a future that's safe and secure. But what they don't tell you is that the moment you start chasing safety, you lose a piece of yourself. You lose that wild part, the part that thrives in chaos, the part that doesn't care about what happens tomorrow. They don't understand that you can't grow without risk, without stepping into the unknown. The safe path is a prison, disguised as comfort. But those who stay safe, they never see what lies beyond the walls they've built. They don't understand that real power comes from walking straight into the fire, not avoiding it. It's funny, really, how they preach peace and balance like it's the ultimate goal, as if chaos is something to fear. But chaos is where life happens. It's where you find your edges, where you see what you're made of. Without it, you're just surviving. You're not living. The darkness. That's where you find your strength. It's not in the light, not in the calm. No, real strength is found when everything around you is falling apart, when the ground beneath your feet is crumbling, and yet you're still standing. That's when you learn what you're truly capable of. You see, the problem with their version of happiness is that it's built on lies. They want you to believe that you can be happy without ever facing the pain, without ever stepping into the unknown. But that's not real. That's an illusion. True happiness, real fulfillment, it comes from embracing the struggle, from walking through the fire and coming out the other side stronger. They'll tell you to avoid the pain, to numb it, to push it away. But what they don't realize is that the pain is part of the process. It's there to teach you, to mold you, to burn away all the things that don't matter. Pain is your greatest teacher, if you're brave enough to listen. Most people aren't. Most people spend their lives running from the things that scare them, the things that make them uncomfortable. But you're not like them. You know that the real growth happens in the discomfort, in the places that make your heart race and your palms sweat. That's where you find the truth. They'll never get it. They'll tell you to calm down, to play it safe, to follow the rules. But the rules were never made for people like you. They were made for those who are too scared to take risks, too afraid to step into the chaos. You were born for the storm. You were born to break the rules, to defy the expectations, to tear down the walls they've built around you. And they'll hate you for it. They'll call you reckless, tell you that you're going too far, that you need to stop. But why stop when you're just getting started? The truth is, they're afraid of you. They're afraid of what you represent. Because you're living proof that the life they've built isn't the only way to live. You're a reminder that there's another path, a harder path, but one that leads to true freedom. And freedom, that's the most terrifying thing of all. They'll tell you they want it, that they value it, but deep down, they don't. They want security. They want predictability. They want control. But control is an illusion, and predictability is a lie. The only real thing in this world is chaos. It's the storm that rages inside of you, the one that's constantly pushing you to break free, to challenge the limits they've set for you. It's the voice that whispers in your ear, telling you to keep going, to push harder, to go further. They'll never understand that voice. They've silenced theirs. But you've learned to listen to it, to trust it. Because that voice, that chaos, it's not your enemy. It's your guide. It's showing you the way, even when the path ahead seems impossible. And yeah, it's going to be hard. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose parts of yourself that you thought you needed. But in the end, you'll realize that what you're losing is nothing compared to what you're gaining. They'll try to convince you otherwise, try to tell you that the pain isn't worth it, that you should stop fighting, stop pushing. But you won't. You can't. You can't, because deep down, you know that the struggle is the only thing that's real. It's the only thing that matters. You've tasted freedom now, and there's no going back. Once you've felt what it's like to live without the chains, without the rules, you can never be satisfied with anything less. They don't understand that. They think you can be tamed, that you'll settle down eventually, that you'll fall back in line. But they're wrong. Ken, you've seen too much, felt too much. You faced the darkness, and instead of running from it, you embraced it. And now, it's a part of you. The chaos, the pain, the uncertainty, it's in your blood. It's what keeps you alive. And they'll keep trying, though. They'll keep telling you to conform, to play nice, to follow the rules. Wow. But every time they try, it only fuels your fire. Every time they push you, you push back harder, because you know that they can't control you. They never could. And that's the real power, isn't it? The fact that they can't touch you. So, no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try to break you, you'll always rise. You'll always find a way to come out stronger. It's not because you're invincible. It's because you've learned that being broken isn't the end. It's just the beginning. And you. It's in the breaking that you find your strength, that you discover what you're really made of. So let them come. Let them try to tear you down, to stop you. It won't work. Because you faced worse, and you're still here. You're still standing, and as long as you're standing, you're winning. They'll never understand that. They'll never understand what it means to be truly free, to live without the fear of failure, without the need for approval. They'll never understand what it means to embrace the chaos. But that's okay. You don't need them to understand. You don't need their approval, their validation, their permission. All you need is the storm inside of you, the fire that refuses to die, no matter how hard they try to extinguish it. Because in the end, it's not about them. It's not about proving anything to anyone. It's about you. It's about finding out just how far you can go, just how much you can take, just how strong you can become. And when you get there, when you've reached the other side of the storm, when you've become the person you were always meant to be, you'll look back at the chaos, at the pain, at the destruction, and you'll smile, because you'll know that it was all worth it. They'll keep telling you that you're wrong, that you're going too far, that you're risking too much. But you know the truth. And sure, I see, I'm win. You know that the only thing worse than failing is never trying at all. So keep going. Keep pushing. Keep breaking the rules, defying their expectations, challenging the limits they've set for you. Because in the end, the only limits that matter are the ones you place on yourself. And you have no limits. You've always known that the limits they set were never real. They were walls built out of fear, designed to keep you in place, to stop you from reaching your full potential. But you've already torn them down. You've already seen what lies beyond the boundaries they've tried to impose on you. And it's a world filled with endless possibilities. They don't want you to see that. They want you to believe that the boundaries are there to protect you, to keep you safe. But safety is just another word for control. It's their way of keeping you small, of making sure you never realize the power you hold within you. And that's why you're dangerous to them. You don't just break the rules. You break the very idea that there are rules at all. You show them that nothing is set in stone, that the future is something you create, not something you fall into by following their path. They'll try to tell you that you're lost, that you're wandering without direction, but that's just because you're not following their map. You don't need a map when you've got your own compass. And your compass? It points towards freedom, towards chaos, towards the unknown. The unknown's terrifying for them, but for you, it's the only place worth going. It's the place where you discover who you truly are, not who they want you to be. Every step you take into the unknown is a step away from their control, a step towards becoming the person you were always meant to be. But it's not easy. No one said it would be. The path you've chosen is filled with pain, with loss, with moments that will break you. But in those moments, when you feel like you can't take another step, you'll find something inside yourself that you never knew was there. You'll find strength. You'll find resilience. And you'll find a power that comes from embracing the darkness, from walking straight into the storm instead of running from it. Because the storm, I won't shout, I'd hear Sunday. I'm the King Plant. It's not your enemy. It's your ally. It's the force that strips away everything that doesn't matter, everything that's been holding you back. It clears the way for you to rebuild, to rise from the ashes of the life you thought you needed, and to create something new, something real. And as you walk through the chaos, as you face the pain head on, you'll realize that the person you were before wasn't who you were meant to be. That version of you was a shadow, a reflection of their expectations, of their limits. The person you're becoming now, that's the real you. The one who doesn't need approval, who doesn't need validation, who doesn't need anyone's permission to be free. They'll tell you that you've changed, that you're not the person you used to be, and you'll smile, because that's the point. Anyway, you weren't meant to stay the same. You weren't meant to live in their world, by their rules. You were meant to evolve, to grow, to push past every barrier they put in front of you. And yes, there will be moments of doubt. There will be times when you question whether it's all worth it, whether the pain, the sacrifice, the struggle is too much. But in those moments, you'll remember what it felt like to live by their rules, to be trapped in their version of reality. And you'll realize that no amount of pain is worse than living a life that isn't yours. The pain is temporary. The growth is forever. Every scar you earn is a reminder that you've lived, that you've fought, that you've pushed beyond what anyone thought was possible. And those scars, they don't make you weak. They make you invincible. They'll never understand that. They'll never understand what it's like to walk through the fire and come out the other side stronger than ever. They'll never understand the power that comes from embracing your darkness, from accepting that the chaos is a part of you. But that's okay. You don't need them to understand. You don't need them at all. You've already let go of their expectations, their judgments, their rules. And now, the only thing left to do is keep going, keep pushing, keep breaking the limits they've set for you, because the only limit that matters is the one you place on yourself. And you've learned that you have no limits. You'll fall again and again. You'll fail again and again. But every time you fall, you'll rise stronger. Every time you fail, you'll learn more about who you are, about what you're capable of. And eventually, you'll realize that failure isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. It's the fire that forges you, that turns you into the person you were always meant to be. And when you look back, when you see the ashes of the life you left behind, you won't feel regret. You won't feel sorrow. You'll feel pride, because you'll know that you didn't just survive the storm. You became it. They'll still be there, clinging to their version of reality, desperately trying to maintain control, to keep their world from falling apart. But you'll be free. How? You'll be standing in the chaos, unshackled, untamed, and more powerful than they ever thought possible. They'll keep telling you that you're going too far, that you're risking too much, that you need to slow down, to calm down, to settle down. But you won't listen. You never have. And that's why they're afraid of you. Because you represent everything they fear. You represent the unknown, the unpredictable, the uncontrollable. You are the living, breathing proof that the life they've built isn't the only way to live. And that terrifies them. But you don't care. You're not here to make them comfortable. You're not here to follow their rules or to fit into their world. You're here to create your own, to write your own story, to live a life that is truly yours. And in the end, that's what matters. Not their approval, not their validation, not their acceptance. What matters is that you're free. What matters is that you found your own path, that you've walked through the fire and come out the other side unbroken. So keep walking. And keep fighting. Keep pushing forward, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many times you fall. Because the only way to truly live is to embrace the chaos, to accept the pain, and to keep going no matter what. They'll keep telling you that you're wrong, that you're making a mistake, that you're going to regret this. But deep down, you know the truth. You know that the only thing worse than failing is never trying at all. So keep going. I think, keep defying your expectations. Keep challenging the limits they've set for you. Because in the end, the only limits that matter are the ones you place on yourself. And you've learned that you have no limits.